There are an estimated 176 people on average who are moving to the Atlanta area every single day in 2025. And it's not just about finding cheaper homes anymore. In 2026, Metro Atlanta as a whole, but the Northern Atlanta section in particular, really is setting the standard for schools, lifestyle, safety, and long-term value, especially for young professionals and families. And in today's video, we are going to cover exactly why so many people are moving to the North Atlanta suburbs and why they might be the right fit for you. We are going to be talking about the schools, the neighborhoods, the lifestyle and amenities, the commute, the job prospects, and at the very end, I'm going to give out some of my choices for the best suburbs in North Atlanta for families in 2026, so stay tuned. By the way, my name is Brian, and I help families just like you every single week who are looking to make the right move to the North Atlanta suburbs, and I'd love to help you too. Go ahead and reach out to me with all my information in the description below, and I would love to get you started on that home ownership journey. But for now, let's talk about why so many families are choosing North Atlanta in 2026. Life looks a little bit different now in 2025 as compared to it did in the past, and so are the priorities of families and where they choose to live. Families are prioritizing things like having ample space to raise their kids, good safety so they can have peace of mind and not worry about their kids staying out, top-rated schools so that they know their kids are getting a good education, and of course, lifestyle balance. Things like sports, amenities, and outdoor recreation are always on the top of mind for families who are looking to move to a new area. Another thing that's an important consideration is remote and hybrid work flexibility. As remote work starts to dwindle out a little bit, people are looking for options that give them flexibility to provide for their families while still enjoying the time they have with them. And what's great about North Atlanta is it offers the traditional suburban lifestyle that a lot of people are looking for without sacrificing a lot of the opportunities that make that possible. Now, what families are looking for, yes, it's very different in 2026 than what it looked like 5 or 10 years ago. But for a lot of families, 176 people a day, North Atlanta is going to check those boxes a lot better than anywhere else. Now, let's start by taking a look at the top schools and the education opportunities in North Atlanta. And honestly, this is the #1 priority for most of the families that I work with relocating to the area. Schools are very important, and with all these websites out there like greatschools.org and niche.com, it's easy to get lost in these numbers and grade rankings that you can come across, and families want to make sure they're providing the best for their kids. And honestly, this is where I think North Atlanta shines the brightest among all these categories. North Atlanta is home to some of Georgia's best public schools. You're going to have highly sought after school districts all throughout the North Atlanta area. Places like Alpharetta, Johns Creek, East Cobb, Milton, Buford, and others. Schools like Walton, Milton, Johns Creek high schools are often at the top of families' priority lists for how highly rated they are compared to others in the metro area. And some families will choose 1 or 2 specific school districts and look based on those boundaries. But another great aspect of North Atlanta's housing system is even in areas where you might not find those 10 out of 10 or A+ schools, there are going to be amazing private options nearby. In North Atlanta, it's very hard to go wrong picking a good school district for your children. And on top of that, the fact that these schools are so highly rated is going to directly support long-term stability in your housing values. Knowing that you're in a school district like Walton, Etowah, or Milton high schools, you know that families are always going to pay a premium to be in those districts. So your home values are going to remain more steady than elsewhere in the Atlanta metro and the state of Georgia. For many of the families that I work with, schools are the #1 reason they choose North Atlanta, and honestly, the data supports that decision. Now, what about that coveted space, the homes and the neighborhoods that families want? Well, first of all, you're going to be able to find more square footage and larger lots than you would in town Atlanta, for example. And many of these communities give a very neighborhood-focused and suburban feeling to them that a lot of families prioritize. Now, you're going to have your master planned communities with everything from pools, tennis courts, basketball courts, community events, and even quite a few with golf courses. In terms of the housing, you're going to have a large variety of price points and styles. You're going to have everything from starter homes in places like Woodstock, Marietta, and Sugar Hill. You'll also have a lot of places with move-up homes like Cumming, Swanee, and Johns Creek. If you're looking for top-of-the-line luxury homes, you're going to find that in places like Sandy Springs, Alpharetta, and Roswell. And if you want more of a rural countryside feeling, you'll definitely find plenty of that in Milton. On top of that, you're going to have new construction dotted throughout the North Atlanta area for families who are looking for a more turnkey experience. Now, you're going to have very safe and quiet neighborhoods that make you feel good about raising a family here. Obviously, families are going to love that their kids can ride bikes, walk to friends' houses, and actually have room to grow and stretch their legs here. It's one of the reasons that North Atlanta has become so popular for families in all different different phases of life and budgets. Now, what about the lifestyle and the quality of life? Well, in terms of outdoor recreation, it's going to be really tough to beat. Depending on where you are in the North Atlanta area, you'll have varied but pretty good access to the North Georgia mountains, Lake Lanier, and Lake Allatoona. On top of that, the Chattahoochee River winds throughout the North Atlanta area, meaning the trails, greenways, and creeks wind their way throughout all these different suburbs. Whether you're looking to go for a jog, a bike ride, or take your kids and your dog out for a walk, there are going to be so many options throughout the North Atlanta area. You're also going to have a ton of youth and adult sports leagues. And from our experience, and my kids are in them year round, they're some of the best that we've found. There are always plenty of volunteers and people looking to give back to their community, and it's a great way for your kids to grow up and make friends and learn strong life lessons. And because so many families have chosen to live in North Atlanta, there is an abundance of parks, playgrounds, and recreational areas throughout the North Atlanta area. There's also a lot of family-friendly downtown areas and amenities nearby. Places like downtown Alpharetta, the Avalon, downtown Woodstock, Marietta Square, and of course the Battery, home of the Braves. You're gonna have some of the best retail, dining, and entertainment that the Atlanta Metro has to offer. Now, North Atlanta provides a slower pace of living than in town, but families love still being close to all of these amenities. Being able to go shopping, dine at some of the best restaurants in the metro area, have some awesome entertainment options, and even finish the day off at a Braves game or a concert is amazing access to have for families who choose to live here. North Atlanta is offering something that I think is very hard to find: a high quality of suburban life without the stress of big city living, but without sacrificing on these major amenities. Now, what about the safety, the stability, and the long-term value of living in these communities? Well, in general, there are lower crime rates throughout the North Atlanta area than in many different metro areas. There's also strong planning and zoning at both the city and the county level. These communities know that they're growing at an increasing pace, and they're doing everything they can to keep up with the demands of the people moving in, keeping it a fantastic place for you and eventually your kids and grandkids to grow. And with the consistent demand that's coming from home buyers in the area, home values remain strong, and a lot of the investment into these communities make betting on the North Atlanta housing market a pretty good bet. But overall, families aren't just buying homes here, they're putting down their roots, and you can sense that when you go out into these communities. Now, these are some of the major reasons that people are choosing to live in North Atlanta, and while this might not be the most exciting, what makes it possible is the jobs and the commute here in the area. Now, you're gonna have very strong job centers in the North Atlanta area. Places like North Fulton, the tech corridors over in Alpharetta and Peachtree Corners, and the perimeter area, including Sandy Springs, Vinings, and more, where you're gonna find a lot of corporate headquarters and other employment options. Many of the families who live in the North Atlanta area either work here in the North Atlanta area or are working remote and hybrid. But there are also a lot who do choose to work in Atlanta, and thankfully you have decent access to the city. Now, of course, this is Atlanta and traffic is always gonna be an issue. But if you're in the North Atlanta area, especially along corridors like I-75, I-85, and Georgia 400, you're gonna have very simple access into Buckhead, downtown, and Midtown. This makes it fairly straightforward for commuters who are living in Alpharetta, Woodstock, Marietta, or others, and though it may be a little bit long, that is a possible daily commute. That also means you're gonna have easy access into Atlanta for all the entertainment you might need, whether that's going to watch the Hawks or the Falcons, big name concerts that come through here all the time, enjoying the Georgia Aquarium, the Botanical Gardens, or any of the other things that go on in town Atlanta. You're gonna have easy access to all of that while keeping your peaceful suburban lifestyle. In general, families who choose to live here feel very strategically located, having all the things they need in their daily life in the places they choose to live, while still having great access to Atlanta and not feeling disconnected from it all. Now, which of these communities are the most popular for families moving to the area? Well, they all have their own distinct feel and advantages. If you're looking for luxury modern living while having access to top schools, places like Alpharetta or Milton might be the best fit for you. If you're looking for some of the top rated schools with established traditional neighborhoods, you could look into Johns Creek or East Cobb. But if you want to prioritize value in your cost of living and small town charm, then places like Marietta or Woodstock might be the perfect fit. Overall, the right area really depends on your budget, your commute, and your lifestyle. And that's why it's so important to have a local guide who can help you out. Now, if you're considering relocating to the North Atlanta area, I would love to help you find the perfect community, the right schools, and your dream home. I help families just like you every single week who want to make the right move to North Atlanta, and I would love to help you too. The best way to reach me is going to be either giving me a call, a text, or an email. All that information is going to be down in the description below. Reach out to get in contact, and we would love to help you get started on the journey. Now, to recap, so many families are choosing to live in North Atlanta because of the schools, the safety, the lifestyle, the long-term value, and the space that you can find here in these communities. And when you put all of that together, you can see why so many families are choosing to live in North Atlanta in 2026. And to take a deeper dive into any single one of these communities, be sure to find our playlist or some of the other videos we put out on each of these different suburbs so you can see which is the right fit for you. Thanks again for watching, and we will see y'all later.